Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the fourth and final day of Gotham versus Song. This is a match that I'm playing in Madrid against the #1 most viewed French chess content creator. We played 2 games of classical chess. They were drawn. We played 4 games of rapid chess. I won 2, he won 1. So going into today, we're playing 8 games of Blitz chess. Each one is worth 1 point, and I have a 2-game lead in the match. And before I show you how this final day went and my thoughts, I'd like to thank the sponsor of Gotham vs. Song, Incogni.
Folks, have you ever Googled yourself? Most people don't realize how exposed they actually are online. Your address, phone number, workplace, and even information about your family is oftentimes publicly available. And the reason for that is something called data brokers. Data brokers are companies that collect information about you from public records, apps, online purchases, and more. They then bundle that data and sell it to other companies or publish it on person search websites without you even knowing. And that's exactly what criminals use for scams, identity theft, loan fraud, and even stalking. That's why I use Incogni. Incogni automatically identifies hundreds of these data brokers and then requests on your behalf to have this information removed. And Incogni doesn't just do this once, it does it on an ongoing basis to make sure your data stays offline. And here's one of Incogni's most powerful features: custom removal. If you discover your information on a website Incogni doesn't cover automatically, you can just send them the link you found. A real privacy expert will then just take care of it for you. No stress, no guessing, none of that. And Incogni is independently verified by Deloitte, so this isn't just a marketing ploy. They actually will remove your data and fight for it until it's gone. And that way, if people can't find your personal information, they can't misuse it. Try Incogni risk-free today and use my code Gotham for 60% off their yearly plan. The link is in the description. Take control of your online presence today before someone else does. Now let's get into this video.
For today's recap, I am not using my laptop microphone, and I'm not using the microphone that clips here. I am using the camera microphone. So we're just going to be comparing this all throughout my trip. Also, a lot of you have been asking about this background. It's a pretty big bedroom in an Airbnb, yes, there is a big echo. I did not expect this. Sometimes when you travel, all sorts of random things happen. Today I decorated the abandoned shelves behind me. There's like random stuff left there. It's not even mine. It's not even mine. This is a towel. So we're just decorating more and more every single day. Okay, folks, 8 games of Blitz. Julien has to win 5 out of these 8 games to force an Armageddon. And I didn't know if going into this match, whether the Blitz was going to be the place where I'm the strongest, but you kind of go and you see. So, d4. And Julien played knight to f6. I already said, I've got to play at least one Trompowsky. I think it is my strongest opening. It's an opening that I have played hundreds and hundreds, if not at this point, thousands of times. And I went bishop g5. Now, I expected Julien to play d5, followed by bishop to f5, because reverse London, it is a very reliable setup. And I didn't know what he was going to play. But I figured that going into a match against me, you prepare the Trompowsky, otherwise you play something else, right? And so he went d5, and he just kind of played like very solid, but this is not the best way to play against the Trump. You really the Trump is one of these openings that you don't really know what it's like until you're in there. It's almost like cage fighting. Like, I hate to compare this goofy little opening to literally getting half naked and getting in a steel cage and fighting. But like mixed martial arts, it's one thing to train something, and then it's one thing to be in there playing the Trompowsky against me, because I have played a lot of this system. So I went bishop to d3, and as we got into the game, I understood Julien is going to try to trade bishops with me. He's a very positional player, so he goes b6, and I play c3. Now he cannot play the move bishop a6. Here he wanted to castle, and he actually hesitated over his king multiple times, and already that made me confident. Like, he doesn't know which direction to go. He ultimately attacked my bishop. You can move the bishop back in this position, or you can just take, and I just steamroll forward with my stonewall structure. I've already traded off my bad bishop, and I'm ready to go with knight f3. If you watched any of my videos, you know that this is what I like to do. So he went castles, and I played queen e2 because I recently had an over-the-board game in this line where my opponent went, bishop for this bishop a6. In that game, my opponent went bishop b7, queen c8, bishop a6, and it was too slow. I figured Julien would play a5. But having played and learned from that game, I remembered that in this position, I can already begin my kingside attack. The reason is by the time he trades with me and goes for this queen c8, it's just too slow because I have g4 and I simply slide the queen back to c2. And as you can already see from the computer, white is just winning. Like, it's actually insane. In just 14 moves in the opening that I thought he was going to prepare for, I just have a totally crushing position. I mean, I've won countless amounts of games playing the Trempowski in a stonewall type of structure, you know, whether I win in the endgame or the opening or whatever. He ended up going bishop to e7, and already I have a knockout punch, although it's not the one that I was going to play. Julian's idea here was that if I play g5, he's going to go h5, and if I go g6, he's going to try to close the position somehow. To be honest, I could just go for this, but I didn't even think here. I mean, I felt momentum was on my side, so I went h5, which is given a big question mark, actually, although the position still feels like white is in complete control. The winning move is knight g5, which I didn't think of, but now I can add to my toolbox. The point is that h7 is just a threat, and it's kind of like a Greek gift, except it's a Trojan horse. And then later I'm threatening h7 anyway, and the attack is totally fatal. But to be honest with you, it didn't really matter, because he sensed the danger simply too much. He's already down to 1 minute on the clock, and even though he tried to trade with me, it was just a matter of time before this landed. And I mean, I just, like, I felt like, you know, I was converting this position. I tried to stay up on the clock. Rook g1, typical attacking game. Like this, you know, this is how we do things in the Trempowski. And then I took, and here I just kind of changed my focus. I was like, maybe I'm not going to checkmate him, but I'm going to get this, and then I'm going to get h6. And so this is just game over. I mean, the attack breaks through. I win at least one pawn. I'm going to get my rook to the 7th rank. And this felt like a very, very dominant game. I jump in with my knight. I know a very beautiful mating net here. He doesn't have a move, but the most ruthless move here is to simply play rook to g7. Rook g7 is nasty, and he is just locked, and I play knight f7 or knight g6, and that is the end of the game. When I won this game, I got a surge of confidence. I was like, okay, I wanted to play the Trempowski in classical chess. Like, it's kind of crazy to me it went that easy. Like, I don't know what he was going to prepare against my Trempowski. If in the very first game of classical, I ended up going bishop to g5. I have no idea what he would have prepared. But, like, it's just, I don't know. It was just shocking to me. So I was like, okay, I'm up 3 games now. I'm up 3 points, and there are 7 Blitz games to go. So it would be a monumental collapse if it happened, right? So now with black, I prepared certain ideas for today. So Julian always plays d4, c4. And today against this, I went bishop to b4 check. The Bogo Indian. Or I like to say the bozo, right? The bishop b4. No, I don't know why it's called Bogo Indian. Somebody can... Bogo, like Bogolyubov? Is that why? I have no idea. Anyway, for this game, I went back to 2022 or 2023. I don't remember. Where I played Bak Ngo. I covered that game on my channel. It was the last game of a tournament. He needed to beat me for an I am norm. I needed to beat him to get first place. And so I played Queen e7. This is my second time ever playing this line. And it's actually a very nice line, I have to say. He went g3, I traded, and I literally looked at this exact position this morning. You know, I was preparing for my game, and I was like, okay, how do I quickly get a normal game? There's several ways, but I went d6 and quickly just went for e5, and my plan is to, you know, develop my knight, develop my bishop. The problem with playing against Julien is that he's always playing, like, very practical positional chess. And, you know, here is a perfect example, and I don't have a lot of experience playing this. So his instinct in positional positions and strategic positions, ones where there's not a lot of attacking, they're going to benefit him because he's generally a bit better at that. Like here I was thinking knight b1 and knight c3 and queen c2, and he went queen c2. And I spent a long time here because I figured his reroute to c3 made sense, and, you know, I would need to go c6. Ultimately, I just committed my knight here, but I spent way too much time. 40 seconds is ridiculous. He went e3, and I developed my bishop. Not the best move, but a move. And then I went h6, and the idea of h6 was to try to go e4, so he could play knight g. He couldn't play knight g5. Of course, bringing my rook to the middle is completely reasonable. And then here, I found a nice way to transform the position. So I went for e4, knight d4. My original intention here was to simply trade the knight with him, and then to play like bishop f5. And then I was like, wait a minute. There are a lot of positions where black keeps a pawn on e4, closes the center, and goes for a kingside attack. And that's exactly what I did. And I figured he would still be in a positional mindset, double pawns, etc. And I am better at conjuring up an attack. That's my strength versus his, which is more, you know, positional. So he went rook e1. this already, after queen e5, I think white is in severe danger. Severe danger. He has to be very, very precise now, and he wasn't. He played another positional move, and after rook d8 and queen h5 is not even the best move. The computer wants queen, okay, it's one of the best moves. He wants queen e6, but queen h5, I was like, I think I'm going to win this game because I'm just going to get in with my bishop and my knight, and I also have the 5th rank for both my rooks. So I was feeling really good. He went for my pawn. Bishop h3 is better than my move. Bishop f3 is a bad move. I should have went bishop h3, but I tried to play fast. I'm trying to get this attack going, and now white is just lost. So like out of nowhere, 3-4 moves, I get onto his king, and it looks like he's kicking me out, but I barrel forward, and I sacrificed my knight. Not quite a rook sacrifice, but more of those are coming later. Always things that are only protected by a king, you try to look if you can sacrifice, and I have rook d2 incoming. Long moves in Blitz, unprotected squares, and this one ended quite ruthlessly. I sacrificed my knight, and then the 5th rank is just game over. Rook d5, he could have at least sacrificed and tried to prolong the game, but rook e5 he cannot sacrifice, and rook h5 is an unstoppable mate. And now I am up 2-0. And at this point, I'm obviously very confident. I have a 4-game lead with 6 games to go. Short of a catastrophe, we should win. In this game, I went d4 again, and Julien played what I thought he was going to be playing this entire time. This is what I didn't understand. He's a French player, so, playing into a French is normal for him, but I don't understand why he would have ever given me this option, and he gave it to me 2 times. In classical chess, I thought he prepared some good line, and he was going to, if you know Trompowsky is coming, you can try to equalize very, very smoothly, but then I was like, okay, French. And I played my other idea against him. I had studied the way he plays. And there is this kind of straightforward variation here where white takes no risk and plays this move queen d3. It's an interesting move. I've never played this. I just knew kind of vaguely the idea. And the idea is to go queen e4 and queen e4 and bishop to d3. Now, I didn't know if trading the queen right away was correct, but I think it is. I ended up doing this, and then playing, bishop d3 and trading like this. And I just thought I have a very pleasant position. The computer actually is like, you can take the c7 pawn and allow him to attack you, which, I don't know, that did not feel very natural. And as I'm looking at this position, I obviously should have just gone back to e4. But we traded, and now I started trying to outplay him. I played h4, he played h5, nice move. And I repositioned my knight. And I actually thought I was making some progress with my knight. It felt like my knight was getting stronger. But objectively speaking, the position is just equal. My original instinct had been to go knight to d3. Then I realized I have this very nice move, knight to a6. And knight a6 is really tricky because if he plays rook to c8 defending the pawn, which is what I saw, then I'm going to smash the center with d5. And it felt like I was really generating some good play. But then we both realized he can just go here. And now d5 is a lot less powerful because everything is protected. And I'm just in a slightly worse position. And that slightly worse position got really bad because here I totally bluffed. I played way too fast. I just tried to put pressure on his clock. And then here, again, I played another move too quickly. Like I was just, Blitz is different. And then right here, I just blundered. I mean, rook f3 and rook e5 is horrendous. And as I was sitting there, I was like, oh my god, he can move his c-pawn now. And I'm like, I didn't realize I was losing, but I'm just straight up losing. So again, we get a position that suits him a little bit, and he outplays me, and his strengths are shown. But then at the moment, he needs to play a dynamic move. Instead, he does this, and shockingly, this move just loses. Because after knight takes c7 and rook takes g3, I have knight d5 check, and he lost on time here. He lost on time, probably because he saw that if he takes, I just take, and I take all his pawns. I mean, he can go king e6, but then I would give him a check, and then I would give him another check, and then he would come here, and he would get mated, so he has to go here, and then I would, take on g3, and this endgame, I mean, I can probably just play rook f5 or rook a7, it doesn't matter, but he's going to lose all his pawns. And the best move was to go there, which is not obvious, because this looks like it's winning for white, but he has takes, ed, and it's at least playable. But he lost on time, and I mean, 3 games up with little time remaining. I figured, okay, this is obviously my match to lose now. And then in this game, Julien played a fantastic game. So I went for a King's Indian. I went for a King's Indian defense. I wanted to pay a little homage actually to Danya, and play maybe some d6 and knight a6 the way he used to play the King's Indian. And I had some other ideas based on what Julien played, but then he surprised me with this e3 bishop e2. he really likes this setup. He played it against me also in Paris when we played. And I was just making stuff up. I actually was playing very well. I thought you play knight d7, and then here I thought, this was smart to trade his knight, open up my dark squared bishop, and then I struck with a5. I thought this was also a nice move, and it is. At this point, I'm actually playing a great positional game, and I played e5. I thought I was playing very logically, and the second I could have just kept playing logical moves like pawn to f5 or this, I went for something concrete, and I just blundered. I traded, which is fine. But here I should just make some more improving moves, and I went here. And I just forgot that he can play bishop f3. I was attacking his pawn, only to realize that in this position, now my queen has to move again, and okay, it's still equal, but there was no need to trade my bishop. And so now we get into a pretty equal position. I thought this was kind of cool. I played this knight c5 move. And I left myself with a weakness on d6, but I thought, okay, my bishop will be better than his knight in the long run. I thought I was going to put my bishop on c5 and hold everything, but Julian played very well, and right here he played this nice move, knight d4. This is a totally equal position, but it's a little annoying for me. So I brought my king here. Oh my gosh, and this was just so stupid. This is just equal. I basically just shouldn't do anything. I should let him take me, and if anything, I should try to join my pawns together, but even taking with the king is fine. I just need to avoid a situation his king gets here, and then he can get in even further, and that's exactly what I did. So king e6 is just losing. Here, I should play pawn to h5. I should prevent him from being able to push his pawns. But again, I have to make a move fast, and the king is coming here, and I thought, well, I don't want to get... So I played a natural move, and this move just loses. You have to play h5, so he cannot play g4, because after he plays g4, I can no longer play the move f5 easily, and the trade is losing for black. Whereas if I had just gotten the pawn to f5, it could be a draw. f5, you do have to be careful. You run out of moves. What ultimately happens here is he's trying to pass the move back to me, and now he succeeds. And this is how I'm going to lose the game. And that's how I did lose the game. He did this, and yeah, I'm out of moves. I'm out of moves. f4, f3. Game over. Yeah, I was kind of annoyed because actually in this game it felt like I played his style of game and I actually did better than him, only to immediately go wrong. And yeah, this was a bit annoying. When I won 3 games, I started thinking can I win every game? But yeah, he outplayed me, and in this game he played 98%. So it's quite clear that when he gets his type of position, he always puts the pressure. Now, theoretically, he could still... oops, sorry, I was analyzing this game ahead of time. I was very interested in the position. Theoretically, after this game, he can still make a comeback in the match, right? So, I still have to put it away. I'm only up 3-1. So I have a 4-game lead with 4 games to go, right? And I'm very aware of the situation. And then, last time he went for e6, and then for some reason he switched back. And it could just be like Blitz brain. You just, you just think whatever. But, then I went bishop g5, and he spent 17 seconds on the second move, which is just not a good sign, right? He allows me to play my opening again, and after it went so well the first time, why would I not go back to it, right? That would be stupid of me not to. He went h6, and he tried to play very solid. The problem with this position is he's not super experienced in this type of structure or in these types of games. And I thought I would have an advantage. He went g5, and I was like, okay, I need to play creatively, and I need to put pressure, and I need to play fast. So I started to play creatively with pawn to h4 and h5. I thought this was smart. I disconnect his pawns. I also have the option always to put my bishop here and maybe put my knight on g3 and stuff like that. And I thought it was a very comfortable position. Now I needed to decide what to do. Oh my god, I spent too much time on this move, and then I played a4, a5. This was to prepare for the situation that he might castle to the opposite direction. I played queen c2, knight e2, just making improving moves, but now I'm down on time, which is just so stupid because after the opening he was down almost a minute. And now I'm down on time, which is, it's just terrible time management. But I found a very nice idea here, which was bishop h4 and knight g3, and I thought everything is perfectly set up. He is really going to struggle to make a move here. He played bishop h8 with the idea to reposition his knight. I castled, he castled, and I was just thinking he's not going to really be able to push his pawns, so I should slowly build up a queenside attack because I have more space. And so I went rook e1, and he tried to do a little something here with knight h7, but I spotted this nice move e5. And the position is unbelievably complicated. Like knight here, the knight was hanging, so I take, and now I just play king b1, so I always get out of the way. What's funny is that there is just a hanging pawn on g2, but it does feel like black is going to lose a lot of time taking this pawn, because after bishop g2, I can take on g5. And this is really nasty, because now he can't take with a rook, because I have a fork with my knights of his rook and his queen. Previously, there was queen f4 with check on my king, but that's why I moved it. And this felt very pleasant. I mean, just look at this position. Actually, bishop c6 is a mistake. I should have, no, bishop c6 is not a mistake. What? The computer's just lying. Because I have queen d3 and maybe queen a6. And this was sort of my idea to, like I have a very strong attack brewing. He went here, and now I just simply get the light squared bishop. And this just felt like, even though I'm a pawn down, in all endgames I have this pawn, these pawns feel a little loose. Actually, he blundered immediately. The thing about Blitz is you're preparing your next moves. Like I was preparing queen d3, queen a6. So I in this position, I just very quickly played queen d3. And he blundered knight takes f5. But my brain was like, boom, 2 seconds. Just play queen b5. And in 2 seconds, I played queen b5. It's just a bad move. I should take on f5. But I set up knight f5 and he missed it. I mean, there's too many tactics. There's this, like, it does feel very miserable here to defend the position. And after knight f5, the position collapses. He gives me a few more checks, but there's no more checks. I bring my queen back and I promote my h-pawn. And I won the match, actually off of this game, but we have more games to play. So it was 4-1 so far in the Blitz. And yeah, after 5 games. And I mean, it's clear that when we get our type of position, good things tend to happen, And yeah, that's all that's all I can say. So in the next game, I had the black pieces. Let's finish, and then I will reflect on the match. Oh, this game was a beauty, and this one... So in the next 2 games, I sacrificed 2 rooks, which is great if you're still here and not bored. So this one was a modern. I didn't put my knight on f6. He played in a similar way. I went knight b8. The idea is to put the knight on c5, a5, to put the knight on c5. And here I played the move bishop g4. Here, in a classical game, he would have went knight e1, because it's very normal in King's Indian positions to trade the light squared bishops. I was sort of hoping that he would just quickly play h3 because it's Blitz, and he did. And this, I think, is miserable for white, this position. It's still better for white, but after the move h5, followed by bishop h6, this is a very typical King's Indian idea to trade the dark squared bishop, and white just doesn't have a good time. Now, he did win a pawn. I actually completely forgot that he can just take this pawn. The crazy thing about this position, though, is now I strike him with a beautiful little move, which is not this, but out of nowhere comes g5, and I know that this is Julian's worst nightmare. Just like this is like he's living the same nightmare again and again and again. Like he has to constantly be attacked by me. There's actually a really cool line here with c6, and if he takes, I take, and if he takes, knight e7, and his queen is gonna get trapped. Which obviously, I mean, I didn't see this at all. It's Blitz, yeah, just unbelievable. Look at this, g5. He goes g4. And he goes g3, I sacrificed the pawn, he went back, and here I was very proud of how I played. So I played queen f6, it's not the best move, but I'm trying to go queen h6, it's logical. He played rook d1, very nice move, so I cannot play knight d3. And now I'm actually just in time, somehow this is a losing move. Okay, I mean, it's incredibly difficult to understand why this is plus 1.6. If he takes on b7, I have king g7 and rook b8, which is really nasty. And I mean, this still looks like, some bad's about to happen. And here I played a beautiful move. I noticed an amazing little idea here. I had to go for it. It's given a miss by the computer, but in my mind, it's a brilliant. Why double your rook slowly when you can sacrifice it? Rook h2. It's an amazing little concept, because if he takes my rook, I take on f2, and he cannot stop the mate. There is no way to stop rook h8. And I just had a feeling that in a low time format, I'm not trying to share the game. Although, honestly, after rook h2, maybe I am. I figured in a low time format, when I played rook h2, his eyes were like, and the best move is actually queen d7, which is like, what? So to just attack this pawn, which, I mean, if not that, white is in a lot of trouble. I double my rook, and then I triple, and I was like, okay, this is impossible to defend in low time. And he just blundered. I mean, he has 4 seconds, and he hangs his rook, and the game is over. The best move was something like rook f1, And even now, I was thinking I could maybe sack my rook, or play rook h1, for example. But even knight g6, just bringing another knight, I figured my king is completely safe. Ooh, sorry, I'm winning with knight f4, because with this open, I play rook g2. Wow. And he cannot run behind his pawns. I mean, rook h2 was an awesome move, you know? It felt very nice to win with rook h2. I felt very smart. And in the next game, I also felt very smart. Here, in this game, I actually played the way I wanted to play against him. And also, I considered this for classical or rapid. It's this variation where with white, you very quickly go for a kingside attack. Here, the best move for white is rook g1. But okay, if the match was close, I would probably play rook g1, but you're winning, you feel confident, you know, you want to have interesting games. I just sacrificed the pawn. It's a little bit too dangerous to take, it feels like in Blitz. So we get a position that we could have had anyway. And now I played bishop d3, super creative move, targeting this pawn, getting in the way of, you know, his queen potentially, and now queen b1. And I really love this battery concept. Now check out the way I played from here. I was super proud of this. Queen d7, right? So I play a3, stopping knight b4, and now my king comes to help out. I mean, this is so amazing, like this coordination. And the beautiful thing about this is an important move, not just to flex. The H file is going to be useful, and the first rank is cleared, and that actually comes in handy in a few moves. So b6, right? Now I went knight e4 to bring a knight and a bishop to go attack the king. So he went here. Now I jumped in with my knight on f6. This is a brilliant move. I mean, again, we're getting my style of game, creative game. Bishop takes, pawn takes, g6. Actually, here I started worrying because I was like, wait a minute. This is a little solid for black. And then I was just thinking, like, how is this solid? Because if he moves his knight, I move my knight in, and I defend my bishop. And what about just h4? And then I got re-confident, because I'm sitting like, yo, he doesn't have any easy moves. And after queen c7, h5, like, he's just straight up losing. Which I couldn't believe. I was like, everything, because it felt like I was playing really too creatively, like a little too aggressive. But look at this position. This is the type of chess I love, not these stupid Queen's Gambit declines every single game. You know, like, look at this position, h5, rook d7, and I smelled blood in the water. I was like, oh, I'm getting there. I feel something, you know? And he went queen d6, and I mean, I had to do it. I had to sacrifice the rook. I spent way too much time here, because I actually, after rook g6 takes, I didn't see a checkmate, and then I forgot that I just have another rook. I don't have to play queen h6, queen h8. I just literally go here, and he cannot defend against the mate. And I, transform the position to a winning position, and rook h8. And I mean, when I won that game, I felt really good. Back-to-back games, we sacked the rook 6-1 in the Blitz. Now I'm trying to go World Cup. I'm trying to go 7-1. Sorry, too soon. And and with black in this game, I went for a Queen's Gambit declined. He played a super annoying line. Bishop g5, I was like, oh, okay, bishop e7 is solid, but let's have a little fun, let's play a 5 and take a little bit of risk. And, again, I set up a stone wall, and I felt like actually from the opening I was just better. Okay, maybe not better. Rook a3 was a strange move. Even here I thought to play b6, but like it felt like everything I was doing was quite logical, and I went for b6, but I completely misevaluated this position. And as always, Julien finds the most annoying move, which is queen e1, which is given a question mark, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, this is really frustrating, because how am I going to defend this position? Now when bishop d7, c6, I thought everything I was doing was pretty good. Queen d6, yeah, maybe was not a good move. Here I absolutely should have gone for queen b4, because what it does is it trades the queen, and then I can join my pawns together, and that I missed. Instead, I transformed the position in a worse way. Queen b4 was the best move. This is bad. From here, we basically have a guess the elo type of finish. He traded with me. Fe I thought was maybe okay, but I went for this. I thought I tricked him here with bishop h5. The most amazing thing about this position is, not only is this not a trick at all, this just hangs a fork, because he can play knight c3. Oh my gosh. And when I took this pawn, I was like, I'm doing great. And all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm not doing great. What is going on? And I blundered, and he got in, and then he won my pawns, and he won the last game. So it ended 6-2. So overall, I was up by 2 points, and I won the match by 6 points because I won the Blitz 6-2. I won 14-8, and we are the champs. And I reflect on this match in a very interesting way. Obviously, first of all, I had personal problems, right? Like I was jet lagged, and I had food poisoning the first day I was here, which was awful. You sleep up and down. I'm a very anxious chess player now, in my ripe old age of 30. So yeah, I randomly just get super nervous or super anxious, or on days like today, I just feel great. I'm very up and down. I don't have a consistent level, of play. I also do feel obviously Blitz is my strongest, but I don't know if Blitz is my strongest because I play a lot of 3-0 Blitz or because it just suits my playing style and I can play on instinct and I don't have to have deep calculations. But it was a very fun match. We had a very different style against one another. Shout out to Julien for playing. Shout out to Incogni for sponsoring. Shout out to everybody here, on the ground in Madrid. Just an amazing place. And if anybody from the government of Spain watches my videos, please give me residency here. I would love to try it out. I've lived in New York my whole life, but I would absolutely love to live in Madrid. We don't have to talk about who you'll root for in a football club. We don't have to worry about that. But Madrid is amazing. I mean, everybody who helped put this match on, thank you all so much. The match was held at this beautiful atelier type of thing, like a cultural agency hub. It's called Nave Belver, Navebellver. If you're in Madrid or you live in España or you just want to come to Spain and you want to go see it, beautiful little place. Shout out to them and thank you to all of them for helping. And we won. We avoided any disaster. I was losing 5 out of the first 6 games. I didn't play my best, but that's okay. We won the match. That's all I have for you today. Regularly scheduled programming will return soon. Shout out to all of you for your support. Get out of here. And shout out to Julien for playing and all the French team and everything. Obviously. Okay, get out of here.